National Petroleum Distribution and Marketing, price increase, price reduction.
Refinery working, refinery not
working. Dangote
refinery coming up or not coming up.
Not coming up. We can't.
And then we don't even don't understand, Mr. Imran, is that we ask ourselves, we even produce the crude oil. That's even the irony.
And ship outside for
then somebody refine it for us.
And then we ship back.
At least something is wrong with us.
Well,
actually, something is wrong with us.
Very emotional.
Like, for example, it's you that want to eat something, you finish it, you take it out, somebody add value to it, then bring it back and sell it to you in an acceptable price, and you still buy. And then these refineries are working 30 years ago in full capacity. If we are refining it here, we are the owners of the refineries, the crude oil belongs to us, then the product belongs to us, and we are going to consume. That is 450,000 naira that is taken every day for the consumption of Nigeria. And still, why are we paying for petroleum? So in We2geda's Nigeria, I think, Mr. Imran, we're supposed to, as always, the problem is that there is no data. There is no data, and there is no data. Unless Nigerians understand what data will do for them in trying to open the government, make things transparent, so that at least if you have a handset, you know you have a handset. If somebody take that handset, you don't have a handset. But if you don't know you have a handset and somebody steal your handset, how will you know that you don't have a handset? Because they don't even know you have it at the first instance. So, for example, the issue of our petroleum system. One, we bring in to do partnership with somebody in the 70s. At that 70s, we don't have enough engineers, we don't have enough companies, we don't have blah, blah, and we now bring them to help us drill the crude oil for us. Okay, from that time to now, we're supposed to have a plan of 10 years or 20 years to create that capacity. After taking the cost of extracting the crude oil, then they take, let's say, 41% and we take, let's say, 59%. Then if I have a plan, in the next 10 years or 20 years, I'm going to have an engineer's company doing it for me. I'm going to remove the Shell, I'm going to remove the Chevron, I'm going to remove all the mobile and other things and make sure that they are now an engineer's company. So what are our plans? Do we have any plans to do that? No. Up to today, how many years after? Almost 50 years after, these people are still doing the same thing for us, still helping us. The chemical engineers do whatever the engineers that we have. They're supposed to put a cover on their head to feel the shame, because I can't continue to call myself a current engineer, you understand, or chemical, mechanical engineer, blah, blah, and I have just retired. Some of them have already worked in NMPC, I've already retired, without even adjusting the system, the old system that we have. At this time, we're supposed to know every single drop of crude oil. There's supposed to be a database on a serious central system where even the president himself can click and see. All the governors that are collecting their monthly allocation from this crude oil, they are partners too. They're supposed to know. The state that are collecting 13% derivation, they're supposed to know every drop of crude oil, how much are they refining in a day. Then get that list. Let it be updated on a daily basis. Then if crude oil is selling at 5,000, the software on the website or on the portal will do the calculation, will tell you how much in naira and in what account that money is going into. This is supposed to be the first step. So if we know how many crude oil we are having, then let's come and tackle the issue. Why are our refineries not working? Somebody even promised that he's going to refine our refineries, but up to now, how many years? 5 years into this ABC government, the refineries are not working. And we are still celebrating that Dangote refinery is going to come on board. If he will do a refinery from scratch, why is it that government cannot do that? I'm going to do my own explanation of what I think is not happening, because my own thinking is that at that level of crude oil production, somebody should change the country. Instead of to tell we have 100 barrels, somebody will say we have 50 barrels, and 50 barrels is taken by somebody. That person that take that 50 barrels, my own thinking, he's the one that now is not allowing our refineries to work. Because if he stole crude oil from Nigeria, he has to have a place where he will sell the refined petroleum. Because he's not having that place to sell the refined petroleum. Then we're supposed to ask ourselves, where are we buying our petroleum from? It's these same people that are now bunkering our petroleum. Unless we stop this bunkering, there is no way we can get electricity. Our cars alone cannot satisfy their market. So they have to deny us electricity again so that we can use generator. So if you add the consumption of energy we have on the generator and then add it to the one we have on our vehicles, maybe it will just reduce the test for them to make more money from this country. So you can see this is all connected. Why are we not having electricity? But this is a must. The next president of this country must make it a mandatory, because if you don't bring out this data, people, they will not know that we know. It's only when they know we know they can stop doing what they are doing to us. Let me tell you, even if somebody is abusing his domestic staff, unless he knows that government knows or his neighbors know, that's when he will stop. But nothing can stop him from keep on abusing that domestic staff. It's the same thing in this petroleum. We are the domestic staff here now. Unless we have a 21st century president, not the one that is thinking to come and sell the NNPC altogether. No, what we want is that to make it functional. Even if we want to sell it, let us know how much are we making before we even sell it. How many jetties do we have that are accepting petroleum white product coming back to this country on what jetties? Let these jetties all have a BAV. BAV is going to be having a SIM card on it, and it's going to transmit the volume of what passed through that BAV at the jetty. And from the jetty is going to the depot. Let us have opening and closing stock of all the depots in Nigeria.
Tank farms.
The tank farms, even private tank farms. Let it be a compulsory. Just give them a mobile application. And then every filling station that you know in this country, you must have a light before you can discharge your petroleum. That's mean linking them up with this platform is not going to be a difficult thing. Even this NNPC retail system, we're supposed to all be included into the system so that at the end, when they say this is what they have done, CSOs, NGOs that are trying to now follow the money or they want to do audit, it's going to be easier for them because the data is going to be around. But once we are going to continue operating this system with this kind of closed system, we will not get anything. If we do this one, based on our explanation of NAVIMS, and we have this information, then you can pick filling stations that are going to be into the subsidy of government and subsidize only vehicles that are on public and commercial services. That means if you are in commercial transport, government give you fuel at 45 naira. Us, me, you, that is luxury to us, then we can just go and take it at 150. Because nobody says it's compulsory for us to go on the road. So, but government has to provide this transport system and also subsidize the public transport system. Let the subsidy down have a direct impact on our goods and services. You understand? So that at least a car that is supposed to take tomato from Kano to Lagos, if you subsidize, if it's now taking it at 400,000 or 100,000 to Lagos, if you spread it half of that price, that means the cost of that tomato is going to be half in Lagos. Yes. This is common sense. You don't need anybody to start IMF and World Bank to start telling you this. It's something that we can do.
This is going to have direct impact on inflation as well. The inflation level. I see always, the economists at the top, CBN and the rest, that they are always talking, the Ministry of Finance talking of inflation, that of coming, how they will bring down inflation and what have you. I think these are the measures that you can directly cut down the rate of inflation. Ordinary man or the unemployed youth who is maybe in even a remote area or who is even in the city, but he has no business with car. This inflation, directly or indirectly, it affects him. It reduces what he has in his pocket.
This petroleum we're talking about, some countries already have an agenda and a timeline to phase out cars using gasoline, you understand, into now bringing cars that are now using electric. We don't have the electricity. And I give you an example of what's really happening. With the instability of the crude oil, one day is going up, one day is going down, you understand. We're supposed to have a national plan too. And we're supposed to talk to ourselves. We put ourselves in the line of reality. Okay, these people are going to start using electric vehicles. We are not there yet. What is our plan? We plan ourselves in the next 10 years. We know the car that they produce in 2020 today is a very fantastic low emission vehicles. but they are going to be off the street in the 10 years. A 10-year-old car in Nigeria is still a very good car according to our own standard. So we are not supposed to raise our standard without raising the economic viability in our pockets. You understand? So we know that they are going to look for where to dump those vehicles. So we have to start strengthening our system. That's why the issue of the NAVIMs now come. To see that even in the importation, what are the guidelines we put? What type of car is supposed to be on our street? How are we going to plan for successful movement from this type of car even to the electric car in the future? But we have to have a plan. So on that plan, we cannot do that plan unless we have seen what this petroleum system is to us. We wake up a day and then the world said we are not in need of crude oil. This is our country. We have to change things. We can't be doing things the same way and expect a change. That's why it's called change, doing something new. And these old guards, they are not ready to do something new because they are the owners and the beneficiaries of these things not working. So we, the young men, are supposed to come and rally behind something and force Nigerians to do it. All these places that I'm talking about, all our peers are working that place. They can help us. They can give us information. If we have a young president that is going to connect to the system and connect to these young men through a parallel system outside this government, he will get more information almost coming from everywhere. So I think it's at this moment in 2020, going to 2023 election, let the person that is going to be our next president look at this, our nonsense explanation that we have done. Maybe somebody said we didn't make any sense. To let him do something that makes sense. But we want an idea. We want an agenda. We want something to come out of it.
We thank you for taking the time to watch this video to the end. The We Together movement is committed to changing Nigeria, and this is why we make these videos. Please remember that these are just our ideas and opinions. We would love to hear about your ideas and strategies on how we can resolve the issues facing our great nation. Because together we can build a better Nigeria. You can reach us on our website at www.we2geda's.com, or you can follow us and use our hashtags on social media. Join the movement, take action. Let's do it ourselves.